Liana Aghajanian is an Armenian raised in Los Angeles, but she's also a journalist who never turns down the chance to follow a good story. She was present at Innovate Armenia, the festival of ideas and innovation that took place at the University of Southern California on May 18. During the event, many people stopped at her booth, named Dialects of Coffee, to record about the significance of their stories and memories of Armenian coffee.
So the Dialects of Coffee program here at Innovate Armenia is very significant because it connects family stories through one basic thing, which is coffee. Everyone has a coffee story. Everyone has memories of that, and everyone has conversations they've had around coffee. If we didn't like coffee, we were asked to make coffee. Or if we didn't do any of that, someone read our fortune once from a coffee cup. And so all these stories connect to each other through one main thing, which is the coffee. Food is a large expression of what identity is, especially for newer generations. When you have multiple generations of people who have migrated and they've lost things along the way, whether it was from the genocide or from the Lebanese Civil War, from the Iranian Revolution, from the Soviet collapse in Armenia, one thing that tends to remain more than other things is food, and that's how they connect to being Armenian. They lose their language, sometimes religion goes, and other cultural elements disappear, but food is the one thing that we can all say we have still. It's about access, and everyone can have access to that. And it was just a very easy way to communicate all these other things. We don't think about food as being connected to history or politics or social issues, but if you look a little harder, they are all expressed through the dining table. I remember it being a very female-centered activity where women would gather around and read coffee cups, and that's where I got my first experience with it. When my parents would sit with my aunts and my grandmother and they would read their coffee cups, that's when I started to realize that this was something bigger than just coffee. I understood that this was a social space, and sometimes a private social space for women only to discuss certain things that they couldn't in public. But also there's the very public element of coffee too, where you go outside and go to a coffee shop or a coffee house. Whether it's inside or outside, the basics are the conversation. And that's why I think at Innovate Armenia, when we were doing this booth, we were saying it's not just coffee, it's a conversation, because the coffee is a gateway for you to engage face to face. And at a time when we are so digital, we are so online, and we don't see each other, and our communication has changed, these conversations with coffee around are more important than ever.